What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Cornell, the tech savvy rider. Getting ready to go home, and I came in on my motorcycle today, and the first thing people said was, "Man, it's cold. Why you still riding?" And then to make them feel better, they answer their own questions. This must be your only transportation. They ask a question and then answer it just to make themselves feel better. This must be the only vehicle you got. That's why you still riding. Man, let me tell you what's going on. Talk to y'all in a minute. GoPro, start recording. A tech-savvy rider implemented new technology to modify his 2015 GL 1800 Honda Goldwing. That Goldwing later became known as Black Flash, an extreme lighting show bike. Hi, YouTube. How y'all like my little Christmas ornaments I got all over my bike? I don't know what they are, but the wife gave them to me. Gave them to me. So she stuck them on my bike. So the day I came in, I'm over here in an area where I had to come check on some stuff, hooking up my hot wire gear. Man, I came in this morning. First, I want to say, hey, today is December 4th. It's the day before the National Day of Mourning for President Bush. Everybody will be observing his funeral tomorrow. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by a phone call. That's the other reason why I hate using my Hero 4. Every time my phone rings, it cuts off communications. Tomorrow's the National Day of Mourning for President Bush. Everybody's getting off today and looking forward to having a day off for tomorrow. What I was trying to talk about was basically I came in this morning, and when I came in, it was 29 degrees. Every year, I try to so-called tell myself, give myself a limit that I try to outdo each year when it comes to cold weather riding. Last year, the highest temperature I rode was 38 degrees. The highest coldest temperature I rode was 38 degrees. Today I came in, it was 29 degrees, so I have outdone myself for my cold weather temperature. I already broke my so-called limit of what I did last year. Every year I try to give myself a goal when it comes to this cold weather. Now going back to the story, like I said, when I came in the office, I came in with my hot suit on, my helmet on, I was toting my bag, and everybody just immediately stopped. As soon as I walked through the door, whatever they were doing, they just stopped. Room came to a pause, and then all of a sudden everybody started laughing. And I was like, what's going on? And they like, man, we was gonna make a bet where you gonna ride your motorcycle in today. You know, and I'm looking at them like, why not? And it was like, it's 29 degrees, it's due to snow, it's already drizzling snow already, and we were just making a bet if you was gonna drive in. See, this is the type of stuff that you have to deal with when you're dealing with fair weather riders. They don't understand the concept of a person who ride all year round. I can give a freak about the cold weather because I'm a dress warm. My issue is I can't stand it when it's too hot. When they get over a certain degrees when it's coming to being hot, I'm off the bike. But when it comes to cold, As long as there's no snow on the ground, I'll get out there and I'll ride. But the point they was trying to make was because it was so cold that I wasn't going to come in on my motorcycle. And when I did, over half of them lost the bet because I rode in on my gold wing. And to make it worse, the conversation went as far as one rider was talking about his limit on riding cold weather. He basically said when it get out to under 70 degrees, he don't ride. He park his bike. Now, this was the reverse scenario of the Superman story that I told y'all about in the office. Now the next guy came in talking about, he said he rode as low as 60 to 65, 60 to 55 degrees. And that was it. He's parking his bike no matter what because he don't see wearing all these clothes just to go ride a motorcycle when he can easily just jump in his truck. And then the next guy basically said, man, anybody that ride anything over 50 degrees, they insane. They're either insane or they only got one vehicle as transportation. And they was basically trying to say the only reason I'm still riding my gold wing in this cold weather is because this is my only means of transportation. So I saw where the subject was going and what they was trying to insinuate, and I just went along with the so-called scenario that they were setting. Not because they was telling the truth, because y'all seen my videos, I got several vehicles in my driveway. But because I realized that me lying to them will only make them feel better about saying what they were saying, so I just went along and agreed with whatever they were saying. One guy said, hey, this is your only vehicle, so that's why you still riding. I was like, yeah, you're right. One guy said, hey man, you must be crazy for still riding this type of year or this season. And I was like, yeah, man, you're right. I'm crazy. You know, I was only doing it to basically make them feel better because I know a fair weather rider would look for any excuse to try to downgrade somebody who is still riding. And that's me, of course. So they were basically looking for some reason to try to downgrade while I was still riding my bike. And I just let them have it just to make them feel better. Have y'all ever been in a situation where you was like, okay, I'm going to let them lie, or make this lie up on me just to make them feel better? Because you know deep down what they're really saying is, damn, I wish I was you, man, that can still ride my bike. But one, my wife ain't going to let me. Or two, I ain't got the balls to ride. Or three, they scared. So just let them have it. And that's what I did. I bowed down to their little insinuations and just let them go at it. I felt bad because I wanted to just rip them all a new one. And I said, no, they need this. Let them have it. So I did. So that's the end of that story. I just wanted to share that with y'all. But I also wanted to tell y'all, yeah, every year my goal, my so-called little goal that I give myself is I try to ride out every year, beating the cold temperature that I rode the year before. This morning I came in, it was 29 degrees, it was snowing. I went home for lunch, it was snowing. I was about 32 degrees, but it started warming up. And here it is, it's roughly about 4:30 and 5, and the gold wing saying it's 36 degrees. So it still feels about the same from when I came in early this morning. The only difference is there's no snow. I set these limitations, or I try to beat these limitations that I set for myself for the simple fact, I just want to know if I can do it. I'm not trying to beat somebody else's goal. I'm not trying to outdo somebody else. I just know what my limits are, and I try to beat them every year. And like I said, today, 29 and 32 degrees for lunch and breakfast. When I'm coming in and for lunch was 32. You know, I already set up and beat my last year goal. Now, as far as cold weather riding, I'll be the first one to tell you, I'd rather ride during the cold weather. For the simple fact, y'all know I got a skin disorder. I'm allergic to the sun, basically. So the cold weather gives me a whole lot of pleasure. I can definitely always dress up warm to get on my bike. But I have a problem of trying to stay cool when my skin starts burning. So the wintertime or the cool months is my riding season for me. I have no problem getting out here riding. Plus, with all this expensive gear that I got on anyway, I have no issue having a good time on my Goldwing. Second reason I like to ride is because I barely will see another any motorcycle rider out here, period. So it's like I'm the only motorcycle rider not on the road. And that feeling is pretty awesome. Plus, number 3, with it being a little bit cooler, you don't have that anger in the so-called cagers. They seem to pay more attention. They're more aware because, one, they're probably sitting in their car with no heat or something. And it seems like the traffic is a lot better during the cool months for me. So that's why I have no problem riding. Now, for you guys, I'm just basically asking you, what do you get a kick out of when it comes to the cold months? Why do you ride? I ride for the simple fact, I love it. Ain't no other excuse about it. No other excuse. I love it. So what keeps you going when it get cold like this? And what's your highest temperature, or your lowest temperature, your lowest temperature of riding your bike? Like I said, 29 degrees this morning was my new goal. I beat my last year's limitations to this year's 29. And the longest I ever ridden in cold weather, with no destination in mind, just riding around, I think it's about an hour. I was able to ride around for about an hour with no destination in sight, just riding around just to enjoy riding in cold weather, and it was for about an hour. So what's your limit? How long have you rode in the cold weather? What's the lowest temperature? And why do you ride when you ride during the cold season? Share it with me so everybody else can read what you got. I shared my story, letting y'all know what's going on, and to also let you know my next video will be talking about my healer bars. I had a lot of people asking me questions about the healer bars, but I never had the opportunity to make a video on it. And so here pretty soon, that's exactly what I'll be doing. Talking about my healer bars, what I enjoy about them, what I don't like about them, the do's and don'ts for your installation, and I got to tell you those. And make sure I tell you about my regrets of what I did in order to get my healer bars. I'll tell y'all all that in my next video. Other than that, that's my spiel for today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one. GoPro, stop recording.
A tech-savvy rider implemented new technology to modify his 2015 GL 1800 Honda Goldwing. That Goldwing later became known as Black Flash, an extreme lighting show bike.